Okay, so I'm actually going to work today with humming and with breath. Oops, I'm on my wrong camera. Hold on. Boom. Haha, look at that change. Yeah, so we're going to play with I've done humming for many ways and many reasons. And in many different types of work, there are different ways of working with sound. Yes. Quentin says yes with a lot of enthusiasm. Um, And humming for me is a way of taking myself deeper into my experience of being in my body, partly because of the vibration that it creates, but also because it feels good. So I'm going to offer this, and I think everyone's muted. You are. So when we hum, and this is like the science part of it, there's a lot of science to it actually. The big part is that when we inhale through our nose, we stimulate nitric oxide in our system. And nitric oxide is a signal molecule. It was molecule of the year in 1992. I can't even make this up. It's and it was also people who discovered that what it does in 1998 got a Nobel Prize for that. Um, so what it does, and it has a very quick half-life, but it affects our heart. It affects our vasodilation, the endothelium, which is the lining inside of our heart, the lining, the inside of our vascular structure, it tells it to relax and open up. So it gives us this, everything's okay, in our heart. It's also an I always want to say an anti-inflammatory. It's not an anti-inflammatory. It might be. It's an antifungal, antiviral, and an antibacterial. So it's super good juju all around. One more extra bonus thing that it does is it affects our vagus nerve because our vagus nerve, 10th cranial nerve, is coming down here. When we hum, we're affecting that nerve in a really positive way. Telomeres, yes, all that stuff. It's in beetroot. It's also in spinach. But interestingly, if I had a bowl of spinach in Texas, I would get more benefit than if I have this another a bowl of spinach in Chicago. I do not know why, but this is an interesting thing, and I've just been nitric oxide has been my jam lately. I've just been so interested. I've been doing so much breath work, so we're gonna try this in through your nose, and then for however long it feels good. We'll do it a few times. And we're not having a contest for who can exhale for the longest time. So we also don't want to stress the body with the exhale or with the humming. So really, if you feel like you need to breathe in again, just breathe in again. You can breathe out and in whenever you want. Trying to inhale through your nose. So even as soon as I start doing that, it's like, oh, I just took a Quaalude. I feel my body go down and in. So I'm not saying that I don't endorse drug use because we can do so much of the stuff ourselves in our own body. So I want to try this one more time. What we're going to do is you're going to start humming and then you're going to pinch your nose closed. And you'll see they say it's the oscillation of the air in your nostrils when you hum that increases the nitric oxide. I think that's probably true, but I think there's other reasons as well. It's the whole vibratory complex of all of it happening. So we're going to pitch our noses on the just a couple times to try that. So, hmm, mm, mm. Now, if I really force it, I can still make sound with my nose closed. So I can go, but it's very kind of clenchy and unpleasant inside. So let's see, there's a lot of stuff happening. Maybe the difference is in the soil. Yeah, it could be the soil, could be the sun, could be a lot of things. but just what we're getting at any different place in the world is not the same, right? So often when we have these scientific ideas, this is what happens when you do this, it's not always applicable at a different time, in a different body, in a different place. So I feel like that's part of what the somatic work is so rich with is like, oh, what's happening in my body right now? The phenomenological experience of being, right? Phenomenology is when it's our experience that we're learning from. It's not something that somebody else did. It's what happened within ourselves. And for me, like I have to say, that's how I know anything. It's by trying it on and trying it out. Like I go, does that make sense to me? Can I shift it? Can I change it? So let's add micro movement with our hums. So the micro movement could be any kind of movement anywhere in your body. It could be macro movement, but we can think of this underlying sort of shape flow support, our organs, our systems becoming more coherent as we work with ourselves, within ourselves. So let's add some micro movement to the hum. And then instead of me talking again, maybe we'll hum a few times. Let's just allow our bodies to experience what happened before I start talking again. So we'll hum a few times. You can move with it or not. And then afterwards, let your body just explore. So it's like you've taken in the good juju. Now see what happens. Off we go. So I do want to offer one more thing here and say welcome to Annabelle. I see that you popped in. Is that we can also play with our tongue in our mouth. So like I could hum and I can kind of like where my tongue's kind of back with an NG sound, or I can kind of spread it out, I can. So I want you just to invite your tongue to be like a little sea creature and allow it to just move in any way that feels good. So it might start to sort of create overtones in your own head, which to me is just incredibly delicious. So feeling into that, that's our next layer of this. If you're tired of humming, don't hum anymore, just hang out. Be with your own body. Yeah, so I feel like I can hear it in my own head, these overtones, if I just kind of dome and then flatten out my tongue. Yeah, letting that come to a rest and just giving your body a chance to feel that resonation. So it's almost like the sound vibration's been happening in there, and now we're letting that ripple out into all of our cells, into all of our tissues, into the water in our body. So letting yourself tune into whatever kind of movement feels good, whatever's happened to the speed of your energy force, right? Like mine, which is pretty on fire and alive most of the time, is calming down slightly. Yeah, you can move big. You can make this into a whole exploration. I'm just kind of staying in this slower, still seated flow because I'm getting a lot of information from the ball that I'm sitting on. So I have this relationship, my darling, the ball underneath me. And as I move, it's sending all these ripples and waves up through my body. And because I've spent that time with the vibration of sound, the tissue in my body is a little more potent or present, awake, aware. Yeah, and feel free if you want to share any great insights or inspirations in the chat to share that before we go with one more layer of this humming. Ha. Hmm. Just the breath practice of inhaling and exhaling through your nose can be really great for multiple reasons. Breathing through our nose moistens the air, it filters the air, it does a lot of things. And actually, when we breathe through our nose, we get 20% more oxygen than when we breathe through our mouths. I don't know why this is. I've just been looking at all of this science lately. So, for our bodies, sometimes breathing light but efficient is healthier than really heavy, intense breathing. We want to have a variety pack of things that we do. And for our deep respiratory cardiovascular health, we want to have some access to volume with our breath, right? So that we can extend our exhales longer, we can extend our inhales longer, we have more relationship and capacity with the nature of our lungs and our organs, right? Our diaphragm, as we inhale, ideally is going down and pushing down into our organs. So there's like this nice, if you think like a cat doing that scrabbling thing they do, except for it's one thing going down. I don't know. To me, there's somehow that's a very comforting feeling of like our breath is massaging out the organs. Baking bread, right? Letting the diaphragm bake the bread, not bake the bread, knead the dough. You want to hum 80s songs. Feel free to hum songs if you want. I feel like to me, when I'm in my hum, I'm just doing a flat out sound because there's no story with that. But if it's fun to play with this 80s song, go for it. Whatever works, it's like, and it could be different from one day to another. So the next layer of that is going to be with hands on. And I suggest, like, if you don't have earbuds in, try putting your fingers all the way in your ears. It'll feel and sound very different. You can touch different parts of your face. So we're also, we're vibrating these cavities, the sinuses. This can be really good for helping if you're having pain in your body, right? Can I send some vibration into that area? So let's hands on it with the hum. You can try different places, see where you can feel it. It is vibrating through all of us, but sometimes we don't have the subtlety to be able to notice that. I remember sleeping in my bed and my cat's purring in the bed, and I can feel the vibration of the bed from the cat purring. So when we start to really attune ourselves to feeling sensation of vibration, it becomes much more accessible. And on top of that, I say this all the time, but tension masks sensation, right? If I'm putting in the armor, I'm not going to feel anything. What if I let go of some of that, right? So let's do the humming with hands on. Mm. taking resting breaths whenever you need them. I want to offer this idea. So I just was noticing with myself, like I can touch in and feel my bones vibrating very easily, but can I touch so lightly on the surface and feel my skin vibrating, right? Like how are we touching? Are we going deep? Are we going on the surface? Are we feeling into, I could feel just like the hairs on my skin, or I can feel my skin. I can go just under that to the superficial fascia, musculature, or all the way into the bone. So feeling into that. Mm. I can feel my hum go from one side to the other by just playing with how my tongue is. So start to play with that as well. Can you move the vibration where it's really happening around in your body? So humming lower is going to be a little more calming, but we can also hum high. We can hum with a different pitch that's in the high pitched humming, I feel the dome of my head a lot more. So it's completely different. Ha. Hmm. Letting yourself take that in and the body level. It could, you still can play with it if that's interesting to you. Hey, Iris. Yeah, anything that feels interesting to you, go ahead and keep playing with. We're just doing this whole nitric oxide breathing. So it's in through your nose and then out with a hum. You can move your mouth around on the inside and kind of chew and feel how that changes the sensation on the inside. Letting yourself calm down, take resting breaths whenever you need them. It might also be interesting to sort of notice what you're doing with your awareness. Like, is it coming into like really pinpointed areas like, ah, right this moment, I can really feel my jaw. It makes me want to relax my tongue and my throat. But I can also take it into like the wholeness of my body. I can go from this little like one area here where I'm feeling, and then I can take it out to being expansive and feeling like, oh, I can feel the space around me. I can narrow in and pinpoint somewhere, could be somewhere else. When we have pain, it's easy to pinpoint in that area, but can I also let my awareness expand beyond that into the big space? So just thinking about awareness as this shifting thing that can really be local or it can be very global and expansive. Yeah, and sometimes we need to, recuperate from too much of this into some of this. And maybe if you're all out here, all over the place, you need to bring it in, right? So just playing with that as well. Hmm. Ha. Letting yourself take it in. I'm actually going to start moving because I need to move. And I feel like so much stuff has just been going on in my face and in my body that I'm like, oh, I want to feel what this is like as I walk, as I connect to the ground with my feet, right? Oh, each step, how does it feel? I even have different things that I'm stepping on. Like this is this carpet. I can be on the wood floor. I can move in different ways where I'm turning one way or the other so that I'm getting this different information. There's a whole meditation. I think this is a Thich Nhat Hanh thing, which is that like with each step, you're thanking the earth for holding you. With each step, you're experiencing gratitude. We're on the earth, we're on the ground, and we're not going to fall off. We're not going to fall off the planet. The gravitational pull is holding us here. How do I hum into my feet up here? Can I do it? If I offer my humming down through my body to the earth, even if it's just in my imagination, even if I can't sense it and feel it, can I bring that hum down through my body? Mm, Connecting to the planet, connecting to the earth. Mm. And then that like makes me think of the energetic field around my body, right? As I'm shifting my own energy by humming, right? We have our heart has an electrical field and also a magnetic field, which is super expansive. So like, hello, people over there in other countries in the world, can I feel your heart? And as I've come into this hummy space where I'm kind of dialing down, becoming more spacious, how are we connecting with each other, right? I'm here way across the room, and yet I feel very connected to you. And not only am I across the room, I'm across like the interwebs. And yet together we're forming this matrix around the planet. We're forming this matrix. What does that feel like? How can we hum into that matrix? And it kind of just arrived that it's a give and receive at the same time. Receiving the matrix, giving into it. And I mean like our connection, our heart connection, our physical connection, which is happening in the ether, right? And in our eyes, our imaginations. Like I can see you guys, I can see you move. I can go, oh, there's something I can try on. That's in my body. So it's not, there's these different ways that we're taking each other in. Yeah. Quentin was writing about the 10th cranial nerve, which is the vagus nerve, which is responsible for so many things, or not responsible. Let's say it's involved in so many things. It's involved in our downregulation, in our heartbeat, in our breath, in our digestion, right? If we're amped up and freaking out, we're not digesting well, right? So when we calm down, it's the vagal ventral, the front of the body can go, oh, it's okay. Everything's okay. I can digest. I can start to take in and let go of stuff. Yeah. So how is it going? Are you having anything happening out there for you guys? You can feel free to write it in the chat. Anything to share. Or you can just say moving. That's also fun. Feeling into your body. Humming whenever it feels good. Social centering by being in the room. Even if we're not in the same exact room, we're in the same Zoom room. Even if you're watching this on the replay, there is still some part of us that's going, we're connected. Some part of me that's connected to you, some part of you that's connected to me. Some little energetic bands of relationship. I don't know. That's how I imagine it. There's that whole Indira's web idea with all the jewels in it. I always thought Indira was a woman, and then I found out Indira was a man, and it got less exciting to me. I don't know why. Anyway, all right, I'm going to bring it in and let you guys all come back. And I'm going to stop recording so people in the room, we can have a little discussion. And people who watch this on the replay, come to the room, come party with us. We have so much fun here.